What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to our little Interloper playthrough. My name is Splattercat. Really happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and burn through the last of our wood supplies, I suppose. I had to come back over here because we ran out of water. Luckily, we had, like, backup water. I've got a pot inside my inventory right now, too, because we're going to go back out and continue fishing for the next little bit. I already made, like, a big dope fire. I'm really hoping, like, please, game. I've only got 2 hooks left. I mean, I guess technically I can make another one. But, like, that'll take, like, an hour. I'm just gonna take my chances. I'm burning my bridges right now and taking my chances, alright? But I forgot to... There's a number of things, so I'm being inefficient right now. This is one of those reasons why, like, I always tell people with Interloper mode, like, I can get you to day 100, no problem. But, like, my playstyle is not going to be greased efficiency like some Interloper players are. Like, some Interloper players are, like, perfectly efficient. Like, they never make mistakes. Like, everything is perfectly tuned. I just kind of take things as they come when I play the Long Dark. I don't tend to worry about stuff like that. Like, as long as you've got the general core ideas. Oh, there's the wolf right there. It died out on the ice. Nice, dude. I really need that hide. That's like our first wolf hide. I also have not finished the bow because I keep getting sidetracked with other things. The attention deficit disorder is getting me right now. It's just like I noticed that we had a problem with having no food. And so I wanted to have like a good backup food supply before we dive into like hunting and looking around for things. Like the fish that we have over there will probably last us like, we have like 2 fish a night for dinner. They'll probably last us like 2 or 3 days. They will necessitate us building a fire, which is unfortunate, because we'll be burning through matches or whatever, unless we get a sunny day. If we get a sunny day, we might be able to pull something together with the magnifying lens. As you get further into your Interloper playthrough, the magnifying lens is basically how you're going to start 100% of your fires. Some people like to deal with that in a couple of different ways. So some people really like to keep a 24-hour fire going. I've just never been able to get enough fire supplies to create a 24-hour fire consistently. I've seen other players do it, but I feel like that kind of devolves my entire gameplay into just like walking around looking for sticks. And that's not really what I'm trying to do most of the time. And so I'm going to boil some water while I'm in here. This is going to be heavy. This is going to take a lot of weight to get done. But chances are we will more than likely be in here. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. There we go. Perfect. That's what I would like to do. And then we'll just fish for 2 hours at a time. If we end up breaking all of our lines, then I guess we break all of our lines. We have been very unlucky in this playthrough. Normally, I don't break fishing lines like that. There's a whitefish. This is also a really good opportunity for us to level up our fishing, which you really want to capitalize on. If you go to your skills list, fishing, in my opinion, is not that useful until you get it up to like level 4, level 3 in there somewhere, which is when it starts to become like a really good valid option for isolating food. After which point, it really becomes a struggle of like how much firewood can you put together, because these little hunting trips right here, or these little fishing trips, wolves are still over there. The last thing I want to do is drag them back over this way. If I have to, I'll just leave the water inside of here so that our weight doesn't get too far over the top. I think I've got enough. Oh, there goes another line. Unfortunate. At least we got 2 fishing trips done before the line broke, so that's okay. We'll see how much time we have left on the water. Pot, how are you doing back here? You doing good? You got 33 minutes, so an hour and a half. All right, so like 3/4 of this meter right here. We got a whitefish right there. Oof! Good stuff. If you're wondering what fishing does, fishing actually doesn't make you better at fishing. What it does do, however... Well, actually, I think it lowers your chance of a line breakage, which is always nice. So, like with ice fishing right here, yeah. It lowers your chance of a line break. So, in that way, it does make you better. But it also reduces the amount of time that you fish for. And so, once you get this up to like a 20-25% reduction, you can actually do 2 hours worth of fishing, you know, in like an hour and a half to an hour and 15 minutes. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is, because you will catch the same amount of fish in a smaller amount of time, and so it's a little efficiency that will just make your life easier. Alright, so fishies, we all good here? What's wrong with my status? I have frostbite? But like, why is my tiredness meter lit up? That's weird. Why is my tiredness meter... There's no status effect over here. So why is my tiredness meter... I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. We'll come back and get this later. I'm going to drop the 5 liters right here. I also need to take a second and cook a couple of these fishies. Oh. My fire went out. Okay. I guess I wasn't paying attention to my fire timer. That's alright. Are the wolves still out here? If the wolves aren't still out here, so that's fresh lake whitefish and I've already cut it up, damn it. Alright. Well... trying to decide how I want to do this. There is a wolf right there. Man, we just have like a lot of wolves right now. We haven't had a single day with no wolves on the lake in like forever. Like we're just having like a weird wolf overpopulation right now. The wolves do cycle around and spawn in different areas depending on the day. Oh, it's another aurora. We got multiple auroras in a row. I don't see an aurora though, but his eyes are glowing. So I don't like to be around animals with glowing eyes. Like those little tapetum things inside of their eyes that act like little mini flashlights. I'm not down with. Another wolf on our left over there, so want to be careful about him. He doesn't seem like he's dialed in on us yet. It looks like he's going somewhere else. I think he's going to our last known location. We should be able to make it inside one of the houses as long as we're like quiet and careful about it. I'd like to make another fire so that I can cook the fish up and we can actually have like dinner tonight and live off of our surplus. But that dude's kind of beat it in on us right now. So it may be cattail stalks for dinner again. Like I can't get around the lake right now. There's just so many wolves out here. Like we killed one of them, but it's like they've got constant backup. I know there's sticks and stuff up here. So that's like 12 minutes of fire. 18, 24, 30, and 36. Hopefully I don't break an ankle or anything while I'm out here. I'm just trying to grab these sticks real fast so I can make like a mini fire and cook dinner. That's all I want to do right now. That's all I want to do is I just want my fish dinner. We have hypothermia risk right now, which is a bummer because it's really, really cold outside. There are no fire supplies inside any of these buildings, so we're going to have to like basically light a fire. And once we light the fire, we're going to have to go inside for like 30 minutes while we wait for it to cook. Luckily, we've got a sheltered area right here, should be. Sheltered area? Alright, I'll try behind this building. It's not giving me the wind shelter bonus. There we go. Now we've got the shelter bonus. So we'll go with... I gotta light up this dude. Hypothermia, don't you do this to me right now. Don't you do this to me. Alright, light this thing on up. We're gonna cook the fish. A couple of them. Maybe 3 or 4, actually. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of torn nowadays. With the new bonus that they give you for keeping yourself fed for like 3 days straight, you get an extra +5 carrying weight, which is pretty rad, actually. It's a really, really good bonus. And so some people are moving away from the starvation tactic. I haven't fully jumped on board with moving away from starvation just yet. But we got 30 minutes. Alright, let me go back inside. That'll be done in just a second. I think enough time has passed out here. Yeah, I just barely timed that one out properly. Good lord. I just barely timed that out properly. That's okay, though. We got ourselves fed for the night. And that's all that I really care about. I'm kind of antsy about diving into my cattail stocks at this point. Just because we're at that period in the game where we really want to start thinking about, like, conserving things and making sure, like, our emergency meals are always ready to go. Like, these are basically going to be our travel rations once we get further into the game. When we decide to go out to, like, Desolation Point, and we decide to go out to, you know, Milton, and we decide to go out to various parts of the map, These are what's going to be feeding us while we're out there because we can't reliably get food in those areas. We can get some food in those areas, but it's not, like I said, reliable. Like, you're not going to be able to just walk down the street and grab what you need the second that it's over there. So that degraded by 20%. All right. So we'll drop those right there so that they don't rot while they're inside the house with us. And we basically stayed up all night, so I think today is just going to be a massive wash. I mean, I could get by probably with about 7 hours of sleep without having to do too much. So that's probably what I'll do. Like, tomorrow we should have enough energy to get things going, I hope. I'm not really planning on doing anything too strenuous. I was trying to reset our timer for cabin fever for the most part so that we could just work on making the bow and a few more arrows before the end of the day. So we'll work on that next. Pointy objects that can stab our opponents to death are something that I feel like I want to dedicate to right now. It's pretty cold out here. On the plus side, I don't see any wolves around. So hopefully we can make this run. Now that we're coming on back to base, I think it's good to outline like what we're planning on doing from here on out. Once we have the bow, that makes us a lot safer. However, it does have weight, and carrying around arrows does cost you weight as well. But this sort of introduces a period in the game where you can decide if you want to go with the starvation mechanic or not. If you're consistently downing deer and wolves, the starvation mechanic is pretty easy to avoid. It will cut your food supplies reasonably in like half. You know, oh, there he is right there. Oof, he's in like the perfect position too if I could one-shot him. Alright, so from this side of the building, before I lose any more status, we'll put all of our fish out here for later. I'll see if I can break down some furniture or something so that we can make a fire tonight. Like, we still have a couple of dressers and things like that around that I haven't broken yet. And so it should be manageable with the table. I don't want to use the hatchet for that. Use the hammer for breaking stuff down, by the way. Use the hammer. So we've got the bow over here. Let's just, like, finish that off right now. And so we'll just put the rest of the time into it. We got to get our warmth back anyways. And it sounds like we have a blizzard. So, like, there's plenty of other things that we're going to have to worry about along the way anyways. And so we can't go outside. We're stuck inside, so let's see to some tasks while we're here. So I've got my bow. And I've got about 6 or 7 arrows. Not too bad. I'd like to make a couple more, but, you know, it's not exactly on the docket for right now. We got the chair over here. Definitely break that down. It took you 2 hours to break down that chair. I feel like I could kick apart that chair in like 5 minutes. I feel like I could break that chair down very, very quickly if it was just me. Like, I don't know, like lay it on its side and like step on one of the legs. You know what I mean? Just break that thing off real fast. Break that thing off. We've got a hammer over here. Use the hammer for breaking down wood supplies. It'll save your hatchet. And so there we go. We'll break this guy down. I'm now dehydrated, which is super fun. I should always check on stuff like that before I start doing things, but I never do. Damn it, Splatty. There we go. I'm going to start just, like, stacking this stuff up outside. It's basically the end of the day. I'm going to see if the sun's still up. Like, do we have any sunlight right now? Is it a clear day? It was a clear day for a second, but not quite as clear as I would have hoped. All right, let's grab some sticks from over here. We got to make a fire. We'll make a fire, we'll cook up some dinner, it'll be a jolly good time, and everything will be okay. Some of you are probably asking why I left my pot inside the fishing hut. Just because I'm going to be using that fishing hut for fishing a lot in the future, and so might as well. We got 2 in here, we got 2 inside, like we got 1 over there, like we got a lot of pots, okay? I don't think we have to worry about it. I think we've got a very decent pot supply. All right, with our campfire here, let's go ahead and get this thing going. Got my stick on that side. Let's get her lit. Let's go. Let's get her lit. And then this will probably just be like a little... Actually, I could probably use this as an opportunity to make a bunch of water, too. Have like 15, 20 liters inside the house. Just... you failed. You failed me. How could you? How could you? You better get that. I wish you got a little bit of XP when you failed to start a fire. I find that my fire starting skill tends to lag behind all my other skills. And so when everything else is at like level 5, like almost maxed out essentially, I find that my fire lighting is usually at like level 2 or like level 3. It just levels up really slowly. And so it'd be cool if you got a tiny bit of XP whenever you failed to light a fire. It's not like a non-negotiable. It's not one of those things where I'm like, do this or I'll quit the game forever and die. But it's definitely one of those things that would be a nice little perk. Yep, let's get the whitefish. We'll get this cooked up for dinner. There we go. Whitefish all ready to go. You can take a look at our bow right here. Why, yeah. And so if we wanted to go hunting, we can now do that. I already warned you, though. My accuracy with the bow is not good. I am not like an amazing bowman when I play this game. I'm really not. Pretty good with a rock, pretty terrible with a bow. Yeah, I think we can go a little while longer, and it'll be alright. I want to make sure that we don't get behind on water at all. Man, that's a hell of a storm right there. I don't like the cold weather. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if you've ever been out in a blizzard before, it's not a fun experience. Like, blizzards are kind of horrifying. And an hour of fire left. How much water? That puts me at 6 right there. We'll just sleep for the night. It's okay. I could make use of this last hour, but I just don't really care. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm trying to save some water supplies right now. And some fire supplies. And I'm going to need all that wood for these fish later on. But yeah, the fish bought us probably about 4 days of relative safety as far as our food supply goes. And that's kind of how you want to view everything. You want to view it as like, how much time did this buy me? Okay, how much time did this buy me? And you should constantly be striving towards some other goal in Interloper. Like, you should always be working on something. It just helps. I don't think I'm going to die of dehydration in my sleep. It should wake me up automatically when my dehydration gets gnarly. I know that was one of those fixes that they put in the game. Like, in the original version of the game, you could actually die of dehydration in your sleep, even though you had a full meter. You had a full hydration meter, you go to bed and you would die of dehydration in your sleep. And so they made it so you automatically wake up when you're dehydrated. Which I think was a good change, just because it was just like one of those deaths that it never felt satisfying. I kind of feel like deaths in this game should kind of feel like they're your fault, and where you can definitely make the argument that dying of dehydration in your sleep is your fault, I would say that should only be applicable if you knowingly go to sleep with your dehydration meter like empty, you know what I mean? Like, then, like, yeah, it's your fault, you messed up, like, don't do that. But in the case of going to sleep with a full meter and then waking up dead, that's never fun. We should probably make some of our deer hide stuff in here. We should be able to make... I need another deer hide for the pants. I don't know if I want to make the boots or I want to make the pants. Our boots are, like, wearing out, so I'm thinking I'm going to make the boots. I need another gut. I think I have gut over here. Yeah, I got a couple. We're not, like, super well prepared on gut, but now that we're into the hunting phase of the game, we should be alright. Put, like, 3 hours into those. Yeah, use a sewing kit. It'll be okay. Put a couple hours into it. Our status is looking kind of bad right now. Probably work on that too. Just to try to make sure that nothing too terrible happens. And we got another blizzard, so it's been blizzarding like non-stop. So I'm figuring we kind of just like hang out and sew for a little bit. If that's how we spend today, like, oh well. So we've got 7 hours left on the boots. These are going to give you basically the same stats as these boots right here if they were fully prepared, except I think you get like a little bit more waterproof bonus or something like that, and like you get way more defensive bonus too. Like, the heat insulation is basically the same, but it gives you the additive like defense and water bonus, if I remember correctly, once you make your like deer hide mucklucks or whatever they are. I'll probably throw all of that stuff in there. That looks good. I'm feeling fairly organized right now. I need another sewing kit. I'm going through sewing kits with a little bit too much. Oh, I already have one. Nice. Hell yeah. Did the storm just like actively go away while I was awake? That never happens. I mean, it kind of did. Is the deer over here? If the deer's over here, we could pop a shot at him. See if he'll die later, and we could try to pick up his body. Make a little fire next to the corpse and then harvest it up and bring it all back. Each deer should give us 2 gut, a hide, and like 8 to 11 kilograms of meat. And the 8 to 11 kilograms, you only have to eat like 1 kilo of it a day to survive. And so that's a pretty good supply of food too. I'd also like to gather some sticks while I'm out here. It's not the most interesting task to dedicate ourselves to, but it is an important task, like grazing for sticks like every 48 hours or so. Good idea, just to keep your fire, like if you got like 200, 300 sticks in your house, it just makes your life a lot less stressful. I'd also like to go back and get that wolf. That wolf's gonna despawn in like a day or two, but it's just like the weather is so terrible right now that I don't think we can get away with it. I mean, there'll be plenty of deer hides in the future, so I don't think it matters. Like, I'd like to have it, but it was sort of like a thing that accidentally happened, so like, if we don't grab it, like, I don't really feel like it's too big of a setback. Alright, come on, booties. It's time to get these booties done. We're probably not going to get them done today, but tomorrow is a very, very valid option. Alright, perfect. So we've got those with 3.5 hours remaining, which is perfectly achievable. We can get that done very, very easily. As soon as this all comes together, we need to find another deer hide. That way we can make a pair of pants. Technically, we need like 3 more deer hides, 4 more deer hides, so that we can make 2 of the pairs of pants and wear them in layers. And then after that, we'll start dedicating to getting the wolf hide coat. The wolf hide coat is nice because it basically eliminates wolves as a problem for you. It makes it so like you get a passive bonus when you have the wolf hide cloak, where it's got like a 50-50 shot of making wolves run away when they see you. That's a really, really good bonus. It's a pretty helpful bonus. You don't like think it's helpful until you actually have it for a while, and you're like, man, I haven't worried about a wolf in a while. And that's the point at which you're like, okay, I'm starting to see the merits of this thing. Let's get some more fish into us real fast. Probably eat a couple of these guys. I'm a little bit worried that the wind's going to change directions on me. But I think I'm just not going to panic about it. I'm going to keep calm and carry on. Just like the old propaganda posters say. Keep calm and carry on. Light this fire up. Depending on how much fire we have left over at the end of this too, I may attempt to make some water, but like, our water supplies are okay. We've got like 4 liters back inside the fishing hut. We've got like 2 or 3 liters inside the house, and we've got 5 liters on us. So we've got like 12 liters of water right now, which is enough to last probably about a week. Alright, campfire. Throw those in there, and then I don't want to make any water right now. I just want to cook some fish. Just trying to make sure I have dinner tonight. Wind, I would really appreciate it if you don't hose me over right now. I would absolutely love it. Alright. You should always make water outside, by the way. I know you've probably noticed that I always go outside to cook. That's to offset my cabin fever. You should always go outside and cook outside if you can. That's one of the reasons I like this building so much, is it's got so many weird little angles that protect you from the wind from like multiple directions. And I think that's very, very helpful. I could actually, technically, I could craft up. Perfect. If you're wondering why I had a 3rd fish when I didn't really need to, it's because our status is kind of low right now. And so I'd like to have a little overhang period tomorrow where we're regenerating health, despite our current issues. I do have a lot of lantern fuel. Technically, I could hang out and like sew for an hour at a time with the lantern. But, I'll probably leave it alone. We are going to have to go on a cloth hunt pretty soon, too. Unless I happen to have, like, just a ridiculous stack of cloth inside one of these cabinets over here. Which I don't think that I do. I'm pretty sure that I'm lacking that right now. So, yeah. We are going to have to track down some cloth before too long. Maybe I'll break down the chair that's in the lobby tomorrow for some extra cloth. Just so I can repair some of the gear that's starting to get a little bit... Some of our gear is starting to get a little bit dingy, and that worries me. I don't want it to rot off of our bodies, because once it goes down to ruin status, you can never repair it again. It's just, like, permanently broken. We've also got this ski jacket that I've just done nothing with so far, and that'd be a nice little temperature bonus as well. Another +2, which would put us up to 13, and then with the boots that we're about to equip, we'd be up to almost 15 warmth bonus, which is good. that's pretty much where I'd like to be as far as that's concerned. Our pants are starting to degrade a little bit. We've got some patchy holes in them. So there's definitely things to consider for later in this playthrough. But anyways, we're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for hanging out for a little while I play The Long Dark in our little Interloper tutorial. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to entertain all of you over the course of the day. I hope you'll stop by for the next episode. Hi do, and take care, everybody.